Hello friends, welcome to Technique. This is Nirmal here, and in this video we're going to do a comparison of two mid-range smartphones around the 15K price segment, the Redmi 6 Pro with the Asus Zenfone Max Pro M1, the 3GB RAM variant. So Redmi 6 Pro is the latest announced smartphone which comes in two variants, 3GB RAM and 4GB RAM. The 3GB RAM variant is priced 10,999 and the 4GB RAM variant is priced 12,999, which has 64GB storage. Now we have also the Asus Zenfone Max Pro M1, the 3GB RAM variant which has 32GB storage, which is priced 10,999. So in this video we will compare various aspects of these two devices and see which is better value for money in this price segment. So let's get started. So first up, let's have a look at the design and build quality. So design wise, you can see that both these devices are different form factors. We have 5.8 inches screen size on the Redmi 6 Pro, while we have 5.99 inches display size on the Asus Zenfone Max Pro M1. Also, the Zenfone Max Pro M1 has larger bezels, especially on the top and also the bottom. So it feels slightly bulkier, but it also has this larger display. Now turning to the back side, both these devices have metal construction and feels really solid, and both have almost similar camera unit as well, vertical mounted fingerprint scanner, and quite good looking options available in the design aspect. So in terms of design, both these devices are quite good looking. We would say that the Redmi 6 Pro is slightly better with the notch display, but if you are not really a fan of notch display, the Zenfone Max Pro M1 is also great device. So that's the design and build quality. So build quality wise, both are really good and both have almost similar quality as well. Now talking about the display. So we have a 5.8 inches screen size with Full HD plus resolution display with a 19:9 aspect ratio, while we have 18:9 aspect ratio with 5.99 inches Full HD plus resolution display on the Asus Zenfone Max Pro M1. Now the display quality looks pretty good on both these devices. You can see the viewing angles are quite similar. The touch response is smooth. Neither of them have a Gorilla Glass protection, and the display quality as such looks quite similar on both the phones. So if you are not really a fan of notch display, both these devices offer quite good performance. Now if you are a person who loves gaming and also loves to watch a lot of movies, then the Zenfone Max Pro with a bigger display feels much better. Now next, let's talk about the software. So we have a MIUI 9.6 with Android 8.1 Oreo out of the box, while we have a stock-like UI on the Zenfone Max Pro M1. So we have 8.1 and Oreo out of the box on both these devices with a completely different UI experience. If you're a person who loves a lot of customizations including themes, support for dual apps, then additional options like app lock via fingerprint scanner, second space, and a whole lot of features are offered on the MIUI 9.6. But if you're a person who loves a plain and stock Android experience which is simple and works quite well, then the Zenfone Max Pro M1 makes a better choice because it has almost similar to stock Android and no bloatware included, unlike the Redmi 6 Pro. So that's the software aspect. So we leave your viewers to decide whether they want a customized UI, then go for the MIUI, or if you want stock like experience, go with the Zenfone Max Pro M1. Now talking about the performance. So this is one area where the Zenfone Max Pro M1 takes the lead because it has Snapdragon 636 octa-core chipset, which is one of the really powerful chipsets in this price segment. And the Snapdragon 636 we are seeing on the Redmi Note 5 Pro as well. It's a really superior chipset, and when you compare it with the Redmi 6 Pro, it has a Snapdragon 625. The 625 is not a bad chipset, but it is kind of older chipset, almost 2 years old, and it's not as good as the Snapdragon 636, which is really good in performance. So in terms of the performance, the Zenfone Max Pro M1 is the clear winner and offers better gaming experience as well. So that's the performance aspect of these two devices. Now talking about the day-to-day experience, we feel both these devices offer good experience overall. Now talking about the SIM cards and other aspects. So both these devices have dual SIM cards and 4G LTE, and we have a dual VoLTE on the Zenfone Max Pro M1. So if you are using 2 VoLTE SIM cards, then better off taking the Zenfone Max Pro, because there is no dual VoLTE on the Redmi 6 Pro, because the Snapdragon 625 does not support dual VoLTE. Now the fingerprint scanner experience is quite similar on both these devices. Both are rear mounted and does the job pretty well. Now the speaker performance is slightly better on the Zenfone Max Pro M1, and the call quality is quite similar on both these devices. Now next let's talk about the cameras. So we have a 12 and 5 megapixel camera combination on the Redmi 6 Pro, while we have a 13 and 5 megapixel camera combination on the Zenfone Max Pro M1, and also we have a 5 megapixel camera on the the Redmi 6 Pro, while we have an 8 megapixel shooter on the Zenfone Max Pro M1. So that's the camera hardware. Now talking about the camera quality, so here you can see that both these devices are quite similar in terms of performance. Both offer good details, decent clarity for the price segment it is offered, and performs quite well. Probably the only difference here is minor difference though, is the color quality is slightly better on the Redmi 6 Pro, and also Redmi 6 Pro offers EIS support for 1080p resolution, but that's not available on the Asus Zenfone Max Pro M1. But Zenfone Max Pro M1 offers 4K recording, which is not available on the Redmi 6 Pro. Now other than that, low light performance and selfie experience are quite similar on both these devices, so we'll leave it to your viewers to decide based on the samples we have shared, while both these devices offer decent performance in the camera department. Now finally, talking about the battery. So we have 4000 mAh capacity battery on the Redmi 6 Pro, while we have a 5000 capacity large battery on the Zenfone Max Pro M1. So obviously here the winner is the Zenfone Max Pro M1 with more than 2 days of battery life, while you can get 1.5 days of battery life with the Redmi 6 Pro. So battery life, we would say the Zenfone Max Pro M1 is the winner. So that was the detailed comparison of these two devices. So which is a better device to buy here? Now for the 3GB RAM and 32GB storage, both these devices are priced 10,999. So for that pricing, we would definitely say the Zenfone Max Pro M1 is the better value for money device, because it has a powerful Snapdragon 636 octa-core chipset. Then stock-like experience, it will be getting the latest upgrades. Then we have larger capacity battery, larger display. So everything together put together, and the value for money aspect, we would say the Zenfone Max Pro M1 makes better choice, and also it has dual VoLTE, which is missing on the Redmi 6 Pro. Now the Redmi 6 Pro is a pretty compact device. It's not a bad device by any means, but then it is definitely not the value for money device at 10,999 pricing, because of couple of reasons. The Snapdragon 625 is kind of older chipset, and the lack of dual VoLTE is definitely a deal breaker for many of the users. So that was the detailed comparison of these two devices. Hope you enjoyed watching this video. Do hit that like button and also hit the red subscribe button for more videos. This is Nirmal signing off. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in our next video. Have a great day.